Hello, everybody. Um, Hello, friends. So today we're doing chapter or lesson 4 of an introduction to Sakha, adapted from Il in Kharitonov A Self-study of the Yakut language. If you've been with me on the previous lessons, you know how we do this. I will read the vocabulary and the English translation twice, and then I will do the sentences and translate them in that way. You can follow along, or if you've done the lesson, the link will be in the description. You have to get rid of these spaces because new channels are blocked from being able to do links and blocked from being able to do pretty much anything, including having the videos suggested so anybody can see them. So if you like this channel, like my lessons for Sakha language, and you know anybody who also studies the language or may be interested, please do subscribe and share. I don't like saying that because it's kind of milk toast. It's kind of like subscribe and like, guys, but like if you like it, please do, because otherwise nobody even knows that these videos exist. All right. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, if you use the textbook and you do the exercises for the translations, then afterwards you can follow along with me to see was your understanding of the sentences correct. And if you don't use the book, that's okay too. You can just follow along with the videos and learn words and sentences. Okay, so we have Turdus Urok. Sometimes they write the wrong, like the wrong, what is it called? Like Y looking letters. So with the or the circle with the line, it should be the Y letter pointing down, not U. However, because of Russian script does not have that. Sometimes they typo occasionally, so I will point out. Basically, if you see the feminine vowel and then you see this masculine u, you're gonna know, even though it has u there, it should be u. Tortus, uruak. Okay, but uruak, you know it's not a typo because you have o. O as a masculine vowel. We talked about vowel harmony in the last lesson. Please go back and check if you are interested. There is a very loud lawnmower outside my window. I don't know if y'all can hear it. So, hold on. Alright, I have moved to a different room so that the lawnmower is not blaring in my ear. Okay, so let's begin the vocabulary. Talar, literally meaning words. Talar. We have wasta, floor. Wasta, floor. Tonok, sorry, bonok. Bonok, quarter. Not to be confused with tunuk, meaning window. It is challenging to go between languages, but anyway. Yeah, so if in the handwriting form of the Cyrillic script, if you have a rounded M, that's a T. If you have a pointy M, that's an M. But in this font they use in this book, the type font, the T looks like a T. Okay. Yeah, so most of floor, monok, quarter. Then we have olahan, large. Olahan, large. Kura, small. Kura, small. Kuhul, red. Kuhul, red. Hanuk, witch. Hanuk, Hanuk, witch. Bada, all or every. Bada, all or every. Could. Look, imperative, or to look. Could. Look or to look. Kurun is the imperative for the plural. So y'all look. They put you plural. I say y'all. Y'all look. Y'all have a look. Kurun. Then we have it, meaning speak, talk, or to say. It, speak or to say. Et ere, tell me, which is a casual phrase in conversation. Et ere, tell me. Biler, bilir, knows, as in he knows. Bugün, today. Bugün, today. Sakhalı, il Sakha. Sakhalı, il Sakha language. If you speak Kazakh, this is similar to like when they say Kazakhsha, il Kazakh. They add sha, il Sakha, we add le, which brings us to the next one. Nuchale, Nuchale, in Russian language. Nuchale. When I hear people say it, I feel like the doubling of the consonants that's usually very obvious is less obvious with the two CHs. A native speaker may be able to confirm that for me in the comments if you watch this. Because I heard people say it before, it sounded like Nuchale. So it's a little harder than a regular cha, but not really Nucha, but rather Nucha. Nuchale. All right. Then we have Kıstagalı and the girl. Kıstagalı. So dagalı could be like and something or both this and that. We will see examples in the sentences. Okay. Again, I don't go too in depth on the grammar, but you can pause and screenshot. You can take notes. I will breeze through it here. You can look at the book and study that on your own. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment. And if I do not know, I can ask a native speaker. So yeah. So the verb stem, the root, is the imperative form of the second person singular. That means if I'm telling you to stand, I just say tur, which is the infinitive to stand. If I'm saying have a seat, I just say olur, which means to sit also. If I'm saying, hey, look, kur, okay? If I'm saying lie down, I would just say sit. Okay, and it talks about different endings, how like turo is standing, kuru, viewing or review, kurutu, observer, turar, which we already have seen, he stands, kurbut, he does not look. So even the negative form of a verb has an ending that changes it to negative, instead of something before the verb like in English. So we will see more of that in the following lesson as well. The stem of the Sakha verb is generally translated to English by the infinitive form tur, to stand, olar, to sit, kur, to look. I tend to say like kur because that's how we said it in Mongolian, which I studied for a lot longer than Sakha. However, native speakers, and I try to do the same, kur. It sounds kind of a bit more like kur. Okay? Um, yeah, that's just saying the same thing as what we just read above. The imperative form of the second person plural. This is formed with the stem of the verb with the help of the affix which undergoes the following changes. So after a vowel, you just add the consonant and so like aha, ahang, y'all eat, kipse, kipseng, y'all talk, y'all converse, conversate, as I say, and so on. If it's after the consonants, then according to the vowel harmony, to match the vowels, you may add you may add you may add un, you may add un. So bar, go, would become bareng, y'all go. Kel, come, would be keling, y'all come. Olor, sit, have a seat, would become olorun, y'all have a seat. Kur, look, would become kurun, y'all look. Okay. The form of the third person present singular, which means he or she, which we've already seen, but we will see the endings together here. You add ar, or er, or or ur. So sit becomes sitar. He lays, she lays down. Bil, to know, bilir, he knows, she knows. Alor, sits or sit. or to sit will become oloror. He sits or she sits. Kur, to look, becomes kurur, looks, he looks or she looks. Change of the vowel in the affix occurs in accordance with the second observation of the law of vowel harmony. See lesson 3. Um, if you're confused by linguistic and textbook language, don't worry about it. That's just saying you're matching the vowels. You have an E, you're gonna add er. You have an O, you're gonna add or. You have an U, you're gonna add ur. You have a you're gonna add ar. So it's pretty you get used to it. Okay. So now we're going to read and translate these sentences. Bu escola trabajando grado. And so that's this school, and let me highlight this as I do it to make it easier to follow along. Bu escola trabajando grado. This school, big, small. So do is like an alternating question. Is it big or is it small? Bu escola trabajando. This school is big. This school big. This school is big. It's if you know Russian or some languages, you will be used to using is, am, are sentences with no verb. Bu escolara kız öğrenir du wol öğrenir du u ü. That's a typo on the second one. The first öğrenir is correct. Öğrenir. Öğrenir. The Y, quote unquote, Y on the second iteration there is the wrong one, but you get the idea. So this school in or at girl studies, do. Boy studies, do. So do girls study or do boys study? Do girls or boys study at this school? Manna kız dağını, wol dağını öğrenir. So this is how I said dağını can be used to be like both and. So here, both girls and boys study. In English, we say girls and boys, add the plural, study. Because it's mentioning two separate single words, kız and wol, we still in Sakha keep the verb in the third person singular, which means he studies, she studies. Okay. Manna uçutal bir du elbehtu. Clear my throat. Here, teacher one do, many do. So is there one teacher here or multiple teachers? One teacher or many teachers? Elbech means many, a lot. Manna uçutal elbech. Here, teacher, many. There are many teachers here. The teachers here are many would be a better translation. Iti uçutal sahale bilir dua. So we have dua at the end, making a statement into a yes or no question. So iti is translated in the book as this. A native speaker told me it refers to when you know someone or something that is referenced. You're both familiar in the conversation with what's being referenced, so it could be thought of also as the. So the teacher, teachers, Sakha, know, question mark. Do the teachers know Sakha? So we say no el Sakha, Sakha le bilir is what we literally say. Halde, sorry, wrong language. Kini Sakhalı üçügeydik bilir. they, I mean he or so yeah, this is maybe a little confusing to some English speakers because even though it's plural and we do have plural indicators in Sakha, we're not always using them. So, and also actually, even though they said again, this is not a real life situation, so we're guessing the context, but you know, there's many teachers here. Manna uchutal elbech. Iti uchutal sakhala bilertua. This person is probably referring to or even pointing to a certain teacher. Because then we have kini, he or she. Sakhala uchugeitik biler. So he or she, we don't know which. Sakha el well knows. He knows Sakha well. So you may remember that uchugei is good. Uchugeidik or uchugeidik is well. Well. Bugün Sakhalı urwak bahardua. Bugün Sakhalı urwak bahardua. Today, Sakha, you know, even though I'm saying le is kind of like in the language, a lot of times it will not be said that way in English when we say it that way in Sakha. So for now, I will just say Sakha. So today, Sakha, class, exist, dua indicating the question. Is there Sakha class today? Bugün Sakhalı dağadı, uçalı dağadı, urwak bar. So today, Sakha, both Sakha and Russian class exist. There's both Sakha and Russian class today. Keskil bugül bügül urwakka kelle dua. Keskil bugül urwakka kelle dua. Keskil today class in came question mark. Did Keskil come to class today? Keskil bar ol ıskamay kaga olorar. Okay, so Keskil is here. That bench on sits. He's sitting on that bench. Kini sakhalı haydak öğreneri öğrener e. So e at the end is a question form, although we don't always use the question ending for questions. But technically, when you have a question, when you have no question word, you will add dua to turn a statement to a yes or no question. When you have a question word like how, haidach, you will add etc. to the end of the verb. So kini sahale haidach ureneri. There you go. It's like a tongue twister sometimes. So he, Sakha, how studies. How does he study Sakha? This could refer to how well does he study? Does he study well? Kini Sakhalı üçügeydik öğrenir. He studies Sakha well. He Sakha well studies. Ol hanık kız turari. So that which girl stands. So you could think of this as which girl is that standing there? Which girl is that standing? Which girl is standing there? Again, it doesn't always translate literally, but you get used to the order and you'll be like, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Ol Ayana. That Ayana. That's Ayana. 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 In English, we would say Ayana. All right. Kini emiye sakalı öğrenir. He or she, but in this case she, also Sakha studies. She also studies Sakha. Kini Sakhalı üçügeydik bilir. She, Sakha, well knows. So she also studies Sakha. She knows Sakha well. She's good at Sakha. En Sakhalı etere butugui buharadas. That's two sentences. Okay. So this is a little bit weird. because it's all in Sakha. I don't know if in the original Russian version the question was or the part after the colon was in Russian, что это or something. But this says you in Sakha tell me this what tugui is a question form of tuach. Now you might think, wait, tuach means what? What is a question word? Why would there be a question form of a question word? Sometimes it could be used in a non-question sentence. Same in English, like I told him what I wanted. That's not a question sentence, even though it has a question word. So oftentimes in a question, we will have tugui, butugui. What is this? So tell me in Sakha, you, what is this? And I believe this would be the answer. Buharadas. Buharadas. This is a pencil. Haradas in Russian, Karadas. In Mongolian, Harada. In Kazakh, Karadas. And I think in Tajik, it's like very similar, but I don't remember because I'm a noob at Tajik. But this is from Russian, as far as I understand, and it is used for a lot of languages, especially languages that use Cyrillic script, are part of the Russian Federation or used to be in political governance or alliance with Soviet Union, etc., etc. All right. Hanuk haradahi. Hanuk haradahi. So we're adding a question ending to haradas, which is I. And sometimes when you add an ending, the C in haradas will become an H, this type of H, the what it looks like a lowercase h. Haradahi. So which pencil? Hanik haradahi. Bu kuhul haradas. This red pencil. This is a red pencil. Bu kuhul haradas. I feel like my Mongolian accent is slipping in again. My old Sakha teacher, Eleonora, if you are watching this, I miss you. Please comment. I lost contact with her. Oh, I will have to make a video because she has a podcast for teaching Sakha language. Maybe I'll do that after this. I lost contact with her, so I don't know. But we used to joke about it because not as bad now. I think my Sakha pronunciation is a lot more natural. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be making these videos. But when I first started, I would say it like Mongolian, and Mongolian is a lot more like like that. But Saha is a bit more in the middle, like Haradas. I think it's the lawn vowels. So the lawn vowels are elongated, the double vowels in Sakha, but in some languages like Mongolian, it's more obvious, in my opinion. If you study different languages like myself, you may find it interesting. If not, just don't worry about it. The short vowel A is A, the double vowel is A. So haradas, haradas. Okay. Ol duoska haidari. So that blackboard, uh, how? And we have the indil. So haidach, the XH letter, becomes a R. Haidari instead of haidach, I. So you have this is called a consonant assimilation in language learning. Basically, sometimes a sound meets another sound, it will change. We do that in English too. In some cases, like when we say "what you doing" instead of "what are you doing," "what you doing." There's like a TCH sound changes from the T sound because it comes into contact with a Y sound. And so we have that here, a X, a Ch will become a R when it's fixed a ending that has a vowel. There you go. You don't have to memorize that. You can if you want, but you will naturally get it. And it's really just because it's natural. Like if I were to say, Haidach, Haidachi, like naturally, if I'm speaking full sentences and I'm not trying to over enunciate, it will end up being haidari because h and r are like the same part of the throat. So it just happens really. It's not some magical rule for no reason. So haidach means how. How is the blackboard or the board? Olduoska hara. Olduoska hara. I said that very Korean. This is the problem with studying many languages. But like I said, I generally do fine, so I hope you guys can have faith in me. Olduoska hara. 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 But hara means black. Hara. It means black, and if you speak Mongolian, in Mongolian, you know it's har, or they might say har, harder. In Kazakh, kara, kara, it's that throat K, kara. Um, yeah, old was kahara. All right. So that board is black because it's a blackboard. Munuk hana bari. Munuk hana bari. So, uh, quarter where exist. It's kind of weird. Like, where's the quarter? Like, you can't find out where a quarter is. There's like 4 of them in every room. Uh, okay. So, but anyway, munuk itibar. So, like, here is the quarter, right? This is the quarter. So in this case, iti, I compare it to the. It could also be kind of like volt in Russian. Volt my drug. This is my friend. Here is the quarter. Munuk itibar. Okay. Munukka tuach turari. So in the quarter in, what stands? So when something's in the quarter, it's standing upright. So we use turar, stands. And you'll notice when we put e, the question ending, the r does not change. So it's turar, turari. We just add the ending. So munukka tuach turari. So in the quarter, what is standing? What's standing there in the quarter? What is there in the quarter? We have a lot of ways to describe location or existence in Sakha. Munukka ahoch turar. So in the corner, stove stands. So it's kind of standing upright. It has little feet. So it stands. There is an oven in the corner. This could be oven or stove. I thought it was oven, and I think the book says oven. Somewhere in the book it says stove, and in the dictionary it says stove slash oven slash furnace. And I Googled the word and looked around a bunch of Sakha websites and realized it could be used to describe a range. In the US, we have the stove as the top part, the oven is the part where you bake in, and if you have them together, which you usually do here, it is called a range. Although not everybody uses that word. And we sometimes mix up stove and oven. Sometimes I'll be like, it's on the oven, but it's on the stove. It's in the. I don't say it's in the stove though. I always say it's in the oven. But probably I don't know. Probably back in the day, people in that part of the world did not have this type of electric range. So the thing that you cook with, whether it's something on top or something inside, was an oh, not necessarily distinguished between the oven and the stove. Okay. Ahoch attagar tuach bari. By this time, you may be getting familiar with the location words. Bar exist, bari, question word form of exist, is there, does it exist, etc. So the stove, uh, by or yeah, like by the stove or near the stove. It's kind of a vague word, but if something's near something, you can use attagar. What tuach bari exist? What is there by the stove? What's by the stove? Ahoch attagar al bar. Oh, why is it not doing my highlight? Okay. Stove. So by the stove, door exists. There's a door by the stove. Again, some of the sentences may seem unnatural, but I want to encourage people to keep going because this book does get more interesting. And with these uh, sentences that are already better than Duolingo, let's be honest, um, you get to learn the basic structure of the language. All right. Okay, so there's a door by the stove. Duoska hana turari. The How do I get it to highlight automatically? Okay. Uh, Board where stands. Where's the board? Where's the board standing? Duoska buastaga turar. Oh yeah, I know for you there was no pause, but for me, my phone was waiting. I had to go check it. Okay. Duoska buastaga turar. So board, floor, on, stands. The board's standing on the floor. So maybe it's, kind of leaning on the wall. Maybe it has feet and wheels and it's upright. Okay. I don't want to make this too long, so I will let you guys do these um on your own. If you have any questions again, let me know. Um you can do the exercises if you want. Here we have some commands with the forms we learned earlier. Duaskaga kurun, look at the board. Keskil en emiakur, keskil, you look to. Bara alarun wanna suruyun. So everyone have a seat and write. Ayana wanna sayana manna kelin duaska attagar turun. Turung, turung. Okay. It's not like a ng. There's no g. But it is harder than the ng in English, this final letter, because most Americans, we pronounce the ng the same as the n. People don't know that, even Americans, because they're like, well, it's spelled with ng, so I say ng, but really most people don't. Some do, some do. Okay. So Ayana and Sayana. Here come. So come here. So board, by, stand. Stand at the board. Stand by the board. Duaskaga suruyun. So write on the board. Board on right. Keskil wanna tuyara agel. Keskil and tuyara read. Y'all read. It's the plural ending. So you see the it's going to be plural command. You just see the stem, kur, the only kur in there has it, but kur kel par, that's going to be the singular command. All right. If anybody wants to translate the English into Sakha, it is the same kind of sentences that we had in the exercise. If anybody is self-studying, as I have, feel free to share if you want to share. If you want to, you can even do your homework in the comments.